over. So, all right, obviously any win's good. Okay, what that did for us, they got a 6-2 in the conference. Okay, I mean, may not be good enough to win the conference, but that's a solid year for us. Gives our 7th win overall, which, look at our schedule, guys, we played. I mean, 2 SEC teams, Southern Illinois, Northwestern State. So we knew going into this year's schedule, 7 wins was going to be, we were going to have a good football team to get there. Undefeated at home, okay, 5-0 at home. That's tough to do. 2-1 Sergeant York Trophy. Okay, I guess you claim you got a piece of it or whatever, but 2-1 there. Got some things. It's in the seniors off with a victory, at home, and that's important to me, and that's important for this program. So, proud of our defense hanging in there. Okay, I mean, 73 plays for 316. I mean, that's not a bad day at all, and hold them to 17 points. And for us to be able to find 28 points without a great day offensively, a punt return unit, a couple short fields, we were able to capitalize on it. And like you said, they got a good team. They're big and strong, push you around. They're just a play or two away from being 6-2 themselves. So, what questions you got?
So one of the things we always talk about is beating the game and some of those things. And I thought one of the big things was field position, especially in the fourth quarter. You flipped it, and then you get to flip it back. No. You got a big score to get the lead. No, you're right. About that?
No, you're right. We talk every week, beat the game. You have to beat the game first before, because bad things are going to happen in the game, okay? The roller coaster rides are going to happen in the game. So, like for us, the punt return, the kickoff returns, and then Terry didn't field the punt in the first half, and that was about 17 yards of hidden yards there. And then, so when those things happen and you lose out in the penalties, okay, or turnovers, it's hard to beat the game. So, no, I thought we did, because I felt like the fourth quarter, I was like, man, we got to get this thing going. And I looked, and we're on the short end of the field, and there's still 10 minutes left, even one time we didn't score. And then Zane had 2, good team punts where he got it inside the 5-yard line, and we backed him up a little bit, and we're able to get those short fields, all right? One guy I do want to mention I'm really proud of, he's had a tough year, okay, just kind of finding his vision, and is Jamie Bowe, his juice, okay? 19 carries for 98 yards, longer 24. Just real proud of that kid, okay, because, without Peyton Logan, okay, that puts us one down. And so for Jamie Bowe to be able to put that last touchdown in was big for him and his career, and I do appreciate it. He's married with a child. His mom was here today. He's already graduated, so he's making some sacrifices himself. So proud of him and that last touchdown.
And they were critical scores, too. The first one.
Yeah.
Start for you, and then the last one.
The first drive was about as good as we can do now. We ran the ball. I think we only threw it once or twice. We had some critical things. Still dealing with a redshirt freshman, quarterback, even though his numbers were, good. 16, 25, 3 TDs again, okay? And they do a good job with their, it's tough on our offensive line. When you get to those 3rd and longs, those twist games come, and just didn't pick them up, and he had the 2 sacks, and so that was disappointing. But, not so sure that that's not kind of who we are. Good on defense, bend, don't break, score your 28 points, be solid on special teams, and come out of there with a win. That's probably, that's our identity. We've had some ups and we had some downs, but that's probably more like who we are tonight. And like I said, good enough to get us 6 wins in the conference. And there's 2 I'd like to play again, but unfortunately, you don't get to do that.
Coach, you were only down 3, I believe, at the half.
Yeah.
What did you tell the team in the locker room at halftime?
Well, first of all, you go in there and you look and, okay, what can we do, to move the football? Because the first drive, you felt like, hey, everything on that call sheet works, and then we went a couple 3-and-outs, and we threw a pick and stuff. My message to them at halftime was this: you got 30 minutes, and you're going to have to mentally and physically strain. Your sense of urgency better pick up, because it's just not good enough right now. You're only playing good enough to be down 10-7. Okay, so to flip this thing, everybody had to strain mentally and physically in order to get that lead back. And, there was times where I really felt like that we did that. We just looked like we played faster in some spurts, especially on defense in the second half.
Last score that you guys had in the game, you showed a lot of emotion. What was that about?
Just the one, to win that game, that was the relief. One, you get 12 weeks in the season. It's a long season, It's and you got an off week in there. It's 13 weeks, and you still got one next week. That's let's face it, we're going to be certainly an underdog in that. So that's your last conference game right there. And like I told the team earlier, that game that put you in the elite back in the OVC where we were used to for a 5, 6, 7 year run that we had there before last year's crash. And so I don't like being there. Okay, it makes it for a tough off season. Now, now the water tastes different in the building, just does, and your conversations and recruiting are different, and so that win was important to us.
Talk about a sense of urgency there in the second half, and then you get the lead, they get it right back. So again, you're in that end of the mode.
Give them credit now. That big offensive line, they got the outside zone going. I mean, it seemed like it was 7, 8 yards a clip, and Coach Hankins and his staff did a great job making some adjustments, and because you knew if you could ever get it stopped and get it to 3rd and long, then the chances went up, even though they did convert a couple, in the first half. So proud of the defense there to get the stops, and like you mentioned, flipping the field, with the punt return. I mean, when the band starts cheering Terry's name, right? I expect him to, return it, and he almost did. And doggone it, I'd like to see that on tape. The penalty they said in the holding, because that was another one that was fixing to put the game away, by getting it past midfield. That gave him a chance for that call, and luckily we were able to get it out of there.
Coach, you've talked about your seniors a lot this year, but just kind of talk about what this group's meant to you all 20 guys.
Guys, it's a good group, okay? It's a good group from the standpoint to where that defensive group, they practice. They're physical. Austin Pickett, Crutchfield, JoJo Murray, TJ Jefferson, Cecil Cherry, Cam Orderway, DeMonte Murray, those 7 seniors on defense, they practice. Okay, and they're physical. Like I said, it's a long season, and they keep getting after it. And then you got some guys, like Jamie Bowe chipping back in, this game, Jalen, we didn't have Jalen Moore for six weeks, okay, and he got 4 touchdowns in the last, 2 weeks. To have him back out there. So, Austin Newsome at center, who's really a guard by trade, but had to play center this year. So I appreciate those guys. When you're around each other for 4 and 5 years, if you come play for us, you're one of our children. And there's going to be days to where we get after you, and days where we need you to grow up, and there's going to be days that we love you up. But I feel like I think those kids, I would tell you this, shaking those kids' hands at the end of the game, that was about as good a senior group as I had in a long time. And no disrespect to any other groups, but as I went through things in my mind over 4 and 5 years, handshakes weren't appropriate, hugs were. And so their families, I really appreciate them trusting you, T. Martin, to send them to play for us. There's a bond that we'll always have forever. It's not a 4-year deal, right? It's a 40-year commitment. So that's how we feel about it.